let's take a look at the Integra back on jack stands again for, I don't know, the third or fourth time. So I had to pull the alternator off because I blew the alternator up, apparently. I think I know why. We'll go over that later. The way I pulled it out was I had to take the top bracket off and the master cylinder to get it out of the way to kind of clear it through the space here. And here she is. She smells pretty bad. I think I know why it blew up. My own fault. So I'm gonna go run down to the parts store and get a fresh one, turn this in as a core, and come back and reinstall it and see if we can get old Rory back on the road, even after she's only been on the road once or twice. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the way to the auto parts store to swap out my alternator, pick up a fresh new one. If you've been living under a rock, I have launched my new brand, my new sub-brand, Dragon Spec. So I've launched my new brand, Dragon Spec, which we have the black glasses, and we have clear as well, jet tags, stickers, and we're gonna be dropping, I'll show you some clips here in a little bit, the new pre-order Dragon Spec shift knob, which I'm super excited. It's a variation on the old knob that I released with NPC. They're not the same thing exactly. The NPC knobs are still, you know, labeled 1 through 50. Those were the only ones ever made. Always wanted to reissue those, and this kind of seemed like the best opportunity to do that. Plus, we can offer them in other thread pitches for other vehicles, because Dragon Spec is more or less not Honda specific. You know, it's not something that I really want to be 100% Honda specific. The whole Dragon Spec theory is just about driving on roads that you love, enjoying your car. So if you love just taking on, you know, a really great road and your car is designed for it, which most of our Hondas and Miatas and R8s are all designed for just getting on a great road, then you're a Dragon Spec fan, probably. And the reason why we chose the name is because Tail of the Dragon sort of represents that more than anything. So it's just something that we're having fun with. I really appreciate all the support because you guys are buying this stuff up pretty quick. Again, we have different packages available that enter you into a giveaway. First place giveaway is a Wireworks B/D series OBD1 tuck harness, and there will be other prizes as well. Second, third, fourth, and fifth we will announce later. We're going to be doing the giveaway here in another couple months, probably before May, most likely. Go to thedragonspec.com. One of the best things that's going on is that it's free shipping in the lower 48. If you're international, we can do international shipping. It just may cost a couple extra bucks, and you may have to, you know, email us at thedragonspec.com to get a quote so we can finish out your order, because every country is different. So with that being said, we're gonna hit the auto parts store. We at the O'Reilly's Auto Parts. O'Reilly's Auto Parts had to come pick up the alternator. God, I can't talk today. Over here, we just picked up our new fresh alternator. Oh my God. All right, so we're gonna go back to the house. We're gonna go slap this thing on the Integra, hopefully get it on the road, drive it around. And then we'll go over what's the possible plans for the EF hatch are. If I sell out of everything that we have to offer at Dragon Spec. Huge shout out to Jason Vincent. He sent me a box over with rear mud flap. Super excited about that. Thank you so much, Jason. Also, previously in the videos, people have been asking me what spacers I've used with the brake calipers. Here they are. I actually ordered another set. Althea Motorsports. Alethea Motorsports. So they sell these little spacers. And I also have one more package, which we'll go over here in a minute once we hop into the garage. You know, one of these days I'm gonna get my garage clean. So I have a package here from Surge Motive Garage. And what's in here is pretty special, pretty cool. That's pretty sick. This is a battery install kit for my battery. And what's great about this is you guys get a discount code, HSG10. So go to Surge Motive Garage, bigcartel.com, and he has a discount code of HSG10, all caps, and that will get you 10% off. But this looks phenomenal, and I'm going to get to install this bad boy here. So we're back from the store. We have our fresh new alternator. The reason why I think I actually popped this alternator actually has to do with the fan. The reason why is because I started to smell that electronic burning smell when I was testing, or not testing, but checking to make sure that the fan was working. You notice here we got a little bit of spit up here. I got out of the car and saw that the fan was spinning, but very, very slowly. I realized that I had removed the AC harness, and on the AC harness, the fan relay is on that harness, and I had the plugs mismatched, the clear going to the green. I'm going to be, installing this harness the way it should once I get everything put back together. And of course, we're going to be installing AC on this car eventually. I think that's maybe what did it, because I only noticed that smell when I kind of let the car sit and warm up. I wanted to make sure that the fan was working, and I never really saw that it was working, except for that one time that it was spinning very slowly, and then I, smelled that electronic burning smell that I said I smelled before. I'm gonna get on installing the alternator in here into this position. So what I'm gonna do is drop the alternator down in there. I'm going to put the upper bracket back on, install the alternator, and then put the brakes back into position. Let me get started. So now that I've got the alternator in here, I'm gonna go underneath and put the bolt that goes in on the bottom side. Okay, so we have our bolt in there, bottom bolt in there. Now I'm going to reinstall the upper bracket. Of course, you know me, I had to, give her a fresh little spritz of black, just so she looks nice and clean. Get her first bolt in here. All right, that's threaded in there. Now our second bolt. Now that's threaded in there. We just rotated this thing fully forward, so we're going to go ahead and throw our master cylinder back on. Simple enough. Throw one bolt on, another bolt on. She's on tight. Now we're going to connect our booster hose here. I love this little clip here. Keeps the hose being separated. Now that we have that, now we can connect the alternator. So first thing I'm going to do is remove that little 10mm nut. There she is. Now one of the things that's important, if you notice, there is a little 10mm nut right there. That guy needs to make sure that that is tight. If it is loose, you may have some charging issues. So we're just gonna verify. We're not gonna crank down on it because you can snap it. You don't need to go ham. You don't need to go cranking it. We're just gonna make sure that she is snug. Okay, that's it. That's all we're gonna do. Okay, we're just gonna put this thing on here. We're gonna feel it and make sure she is snug. Yes. If you notice here, my light is dying. I've got the green plug plugged up. I'm gonna put a bolt in here so it stays still. We'll put the charge harness on. All right, we got a bolt through. Now we need to put the nut on. Very carefully thread it while not pushing the bolt out of the hole. Okay, now we're gonna push this guy all the way in. Now we're gonna go underneath, throw a belt on. Now we've got the belt on. And if you're like, how do you tension this thing? Well, it's not as simple as say a K-series, which is way simpler. You gotta get your big screwdriver or pry bar. You got to pry this thing. All right, get that belt tight, then tighten that bolt. That's what exactly I'm gonna do now. So it's gonna take two hands. Camera's not gonna be able to see it. So about this, I'm just gonna say from experience, number one, do not hook the power wire up until it's the very last thing, okay? Make sure you got everything tight, belt on, yada, 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 before you hook the power wire on. Now, you don't want the belt super fucking tight either, but you do want it snug. With that being said, I have now gotten this top bolt tight, all right? So the tension's on there. Now this is very important. Do not forget to go beneath and tighten that bolt now. So the bolt that's on the bottom of the alternator, holding it in place, that needs to now be tightened. So do not forget to do that. And then once you're done, don't forget to hook some things back up that you may have disconnected, like this vacuum hose here. I'm gonna go tighten that bottom bolt. Then I'm going to connect the charge wire, then connect the battery, and then we should be good to go. Now we've got the power connection or recharging. So now we've got the power connection on the alternator. If you notice, my ground wire not connected. Normally my ground wire here goes from the valve cover to the shock tower. So it goes from here to here. Pro tip, do not put it here, okay? Or here. These are not grounds. So many people do that. They're like, what is that for? Well, one, it's for power steering on this side, and this one is for the right-hand drive throttle cable. You have to be on a stud to ground. I see so many people with K-series going, oh, well, I grounded it to the valve cover, and they use like one of these, you know, or the center one. It's gotta be on a stud if you wanna ground it. The reason why is the rubber gasket prevents it from grounding. You have to be on a stud. Don't be a fool, be cool, ground it properly. So I have the alternator all hooked up, everything's good to go, all hooked up, battery on, blah, 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 blah. Before I hook my battery up, and again, shout out to Search Motive Garage for these cables. I finally got to install them. Don't forget to use my discount code. It's on the screen now. Before I hook these up to the battery, I'm going to place this AC harness back where it was. It actually follows underneath here, all these clips. I saved all the clips, I didn't break them. I just gotta undo these two here and pop it in place. Also, shout out to Resto Tuner again. I finally put some of the 10 mils on the fenders, and I used a fresh 10 mil for the ground. Dude, I love these fresh sync bolts. Definitely gonna put some on the EF for sure. Oh wait, we'll talk about that later. The little harness in here, plugged up, tucked away underneath. All the wires are properly hung right there. Of course, use some Resto tuners. As a matter of fact, you know what? Switch that bad guy right there too. And need to go get a gauge cluster. Plug the gauge cluster up, make sure the battery light works, and then this should be good to go now. Yay! Part number. So if you can't tell what that is my new speed sensor cable. Yes, speed sensor cable. Just met up with Mike Chan from Acura Honda Classic and Jonathan over there. Had lunch with him. He dropped the part off to me. Apparently it's one of the last ones in the country. So if you need one, you might have to get it from Japan. As far as installing this thing, as you can tell, what's really great is it's got the grommet, the wall grommet in there, you know, it's great, it's great. Which leads me to believe that, you know, the cable will definitely need to pull out this way, but guess what she's not doing? She's in there. And as far as reinstalling it, We've got to feed it back through there. So what does this mean? This means I might have to take the goddamn dash. Keep it old school. Yeah, I don't think that I'll have to quite take the dash entirely out. I think that what I'll need to do is just take a couple of the bolts out, just get it kind of loose, you know, take the bottom one out, the one behind the clock out, the one on the side out, the two on the side out on the driver's side, and just maybe pull the dash out a little bit. Not fully remove the dash, but get it kind of loose so, you know, it pulls forward. And that should give me enough room to hopefully get this cable in here. Yeah. Actually, on second thought, I'm gonna get my light. Let's think smarter, not harder. I don't know if we could see any of this stuff. That would explain that. I don't know if you can see that. So the reason why it's cut right there, so we may not need to remove the dash. Pop that thing off. It's like a little retaining clip. So there we go. Yay! All right. So now what we're looking for is to try to pull it through here. Luckily, you can see the little white thing. We've got it right there. We just need to angle it through this hole right here. I'm gonna try to figure this out, see if I can pull it through. I'll explain what I do. Miracle on 34th Street. There it is. What do I do to get it to pull through? I lightly took some needleless pliers, grabbed a hold of it, and pulled the dash back just enough. So now we're gonna put the dash back. So got the sample in. Here it is, Dragon Spec shift knob, which I'm super excited about. It's super clean. I love it. Came out nice. These are on pre-order. They should be here in a couple of weeks. We're doing a small run to see how they do. If you notice, it looks a lot like the HSG knob that I did with MPC, but we got a lot of feedback from that shift knob. One of them was the shank was a little too wide. The people wanted a little bit more weight out of the knob and wanted it just a little bit bigger. And I kind of agreed with most of the feedback that we got back. So to give the comparison, here is the HSG knob. You can see how much different it actually is. It's a similar design, which feels great on the the shifter. I feel the difference is obviously the shank is smaller, made it 44 millimeter as opposed to 40 millimeter to really give it that feel. Go to thedragonspec.com and pick one up. Now again, we only made 50 of these. I always wanted to make a rerun, but we never got a chance to. So I've been working on this for a while, and one of the biggest reasons for launching Dragon Spec is I've always wanted to re-release these and do these with a couple of changes, and now I've had the opportunity to take in a lot of time, a lot of planning, a lot of stuff to get it done. And the great thing is that these will be offered in different thread pitches, not only Honda. Do me a big favor, go to thedragonspec.com and pre-order a knob, and we've also got a few packages with the jet tags and the sunglasses for the giveaway. And the giveaway packages are like selling out really quick. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it because of the support so far that we're getting, and I hope it continues. If it can continue, then we may, we've been working on the DA a lot, and I love the DA. The DA is like my personal bucket list car. It's something about it that I just love. Can't live without it. I love EGs, DCs, and all that stuff, but there's just nothing like a DA. Or there's nothing also like an EF. So let's go take a look at the EF. So here's the EF. I still have the EF in my possession. It's a little bit torn up right now. So the EF is in great shape. I've just got to put a few things back together on it. I robbed the starter off this car for the DA. I now have a starter to throw on. Haven't had time, but we're going to be working on this in the next couple weeks here. I'm going to be throwing the starter on, putting the factory headlights back on. Almost in a way, I'm going to be kind of getting it into a sellable state, but I don't want to sell it if I don't have to. If the Dragon Spec stuff really continues to grow, then we'll keep this and actually build it up. And I know a lot of people feel that I kind of ruined this car by taking the B16 out of it. I've got good news for you. If the support for Dragon Spec continues, like I said, if you guys know, I have a spare B16 head. So I may be doing a B20 VTEC build for the DA and then putting the B16 back into the EF. Now that has been my plan along with some other things on the outside. Let me explain what happened to the EF, why I bought the EF, and why it's sort of shifted importance, I guess is the right way to put it. So when I first bought the EF, it was in the middle of last year. The plan was that the car, as far as I knew when I bought it, you know, the plan was that it was mechanically good. It just needed some cosmetic stuff. It really needed a paint job. And I went above and beyond to do a lot of things, save up a lot of money, and, you know, get all the things, all the ducks in a row to do that, to really make a really nice EF. Real life happened. And most of you know what happened. So that kind of ruined the budget of building the EF in the way that I wanted to. The other thing about the EF is that it's a factory non-AC car. So kind of cruising around in the summertime is quite brutal, and it's a very raw car. Like it's a damn near track car, honestly. And I would like to keep it in that state. Track style, track inspired, you know, maybe even take it to the firm locally in a couple events, maybe even throw it into the, you know, the Honda meet at the track day, maybe even take it to the Dragon and have someone else drive it or something to that effect. I really love this car. I really want to hold on to it. That's why, you know, I've invested a lot into the Dragon Spec thing, because it's an investment to try to build something for the future. You know, if you guys want to support the channel, if you want to see, you know, the EF bloom and blossom, go pick up a Dragon Spec giveaway bundle. I am going to be putting it back, you know, together, drivable, back to kind of the way it was before. So that content is coming up, and oh wait, Mustang Man is coming through. So that content is coming up, and we're going to be putting the function informed coilovers back onto the EF. We're going to be putting another set of wheels onto the EF. You know, same right here. I'm gonna save that content. We just need some tires to show up. Right now it is on GSR blades, but because of the Type R calipers, I cannot roll it. It's okay sitting, but it'll scrape the wheel weights that are on the inside. I can't drive it with these wheels on it. So that's kind of why it's been a thing. Just given the circumstance, there is a chance, I'm not sure what I want to do with wheels. If I want to do a different set of wheels on the DA, or keep the slips on the DA, put the slips back on the EF, or do something different. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for all the support. So that's the EF update. Like I said, we're gonna be putting it back together over the next couple weeks, and getting it back on the road, ready to go. Use it as a track car, or if I can, if God willing, you know, really paint this thing nice. I'd love to see it with a fresh, you know, paint job on it. It'd be awesome. But I do have some other ideas for the outside, if you know what I'm saying. You gotta make, ooh, let's put this Dragon Spec knob on here, boy. Ooh, that shit look good. Heck yeah. Damn, it feels good. It really does. Dude, go get one of these. These things are awesome. I had to verify that the battery light was not burnt out, because that is a thing. Alright, so we should have power. I don't know if this battery's dead. Or did I do something? We got nothing, Batman. So the battery's dead. Got some jumper cables to the old battery over there. Ooh, battery light has returned. Damn. Not enough juice. Alright, we got her running. We got her jumped off with the FK7 here. She's running. I think it's looking good. No squealing from the belt or anything like that. So we're just gonna need to let her, you know, warm up and charge here. No battery light or anything, but it did light up before, you know, we started the car, so that's a good sign. So what I need to do now is very carefully hook up the speed sensor, push the cluster back in, go to the engine bay, hook up the speed sensor, and then you know, go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go to thedragonspec.com, pick up a giveaway bundle. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.